Hi there, welcome to Speech Language with Miss Holly. Thanks for joining me for today's video lesson on fluency strategies. This is actually part 2 in this series. In the first part, we talked about some ideas on how to prepare for fluency, and these are strategies that you can use before you speak or while you're speaking. But we're switching gears now, and we are talking about strategies that you can use when responding to your own stuttering. All right, so what I'll do is I'll share each strategy and then we'll put it into practice. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, these are strategies for responding to stuttering, and we know that stuttering happens, and that is okay. It's all right to stutter when you're talking. What's important is that you want to keep moving forward with your message because people want to hear what you have to say. So there are two kinds of strategies here. The first is something you can use when you start to notice that tension creeping up. And we know that tension can happen anywhere in our speech machine. So it can happen in your stomach, in your chest. It can happen in your throat, or anywhere in your mouth, like your lips and your tongue. So if you start to notice some tension, what you can do is called a preparatory set. And this is neat because it's actually just using all the strategies that we talked about when preparing for fluency, but you incorporate it when you start to notice tension. So what you'll do is you'll ease into a word with slow and stretchy speech and those really light contacts. So let's say I'm gonna plan to feel some tension on the word tension there. You'll notice what I do is ease into it really slowly and stretch it out. When you notice tension, you stretch out your sounds, you make it really light and easy, just like that. This next strategy is called the easy bounce. This is where if you feel like you're gonna stutter on a word, what you actually do is you go ahead and incorporate a bounce on purpose, which might sound a little strange, but rather than getting really stuck and doing it tensely, you have total control over the bounce. So let's say I'm gonna plan to bounce on the word tensely here. So getting stuck or repeating sounds to tensely. So I kept my mouth really relaxed and I plan to go ahead and bounce on it. So these are strategies you can do when you start to feel that tension, and it's a way to respond to it so you can keep moving forward. The next set of strategies are things that you can use during a moment of stuttering. And once again, it's okay to stutter. What you want to do is notice it and then see how you can keep moving forward. So this first strategy is called a cancellation. And it's where you notice the stuttering. What you do is you pause, you release any tension that you're holding on to, and then you start it again. So you have a clean slate there. So I'll show you, I'm gonna plan to get stuck on the word pause here, and I'll show you how I do a cancellation. So you notice the moment of stuttering, pause, and then you release the tension and you start again. So you notice that I kind of had a block here. What I do is I let go of my air, I relaxed throughout my speech machine, and then I started again. The last strategy that we'll go over is a pullout. And this is kind of similar to a cancellation, but rather than releasing it all and starting again, you can keep the air flowing and moving out through the rest of the word. So in the moment of stuttering, you release your tension and you slide out. So let's say I'm gonna get stuck on stuttering. I'm gonna show you how I do a pullout. In the moment of stuttering, you release tension and slide out through the word. So you kind of heard that air flow out as I finished the rest of the word there. Okay, so that was an overview. Now we'll go ahead and practice these strategies with some functional everyday phrases. And one thing I want to point out here is when we're practicing these strategies, You may stutter on your own, and that's a great opportunity to practice these. We know we don't always stutter during therapy activities, so what I'm going to have you do is choose a word to voluntarily stutter on, and that's stuttering on purpose. So you pick a word that you plan to stutter on, and then you practice the strategy then. It also helps you get really comfortable with stuttering. Okay, so we've got a prompt and a strategy. The prompt is, how would you greet somebody? And the strategy is using that preparatory set. So we're going to ease into the word that we might plan to feel a little tense on. So I'm going to plan to feel tense on a weekend, and I'm just going to go into it with really stretchy speech. Hey, how was your weekend? So I kind of stretched it out. I'm going to try that one more time. Hey, how was your weekend? Okay, that time felt kind of slower and stretchier. You can try this on your own too. You can pick a greeting and then plan to add some tension and then use this preparatory set. All right, here's our next strategy. The strategy is the easy bounce. And remember, that's where we're adding an extra bounce just to make it light and easy. And the prompt that we're going to use is, what's your address? So I'm going to use Sherlock Holmes's address here, and I'm going to plan to add an easy bounce on the B in Baker Street. I live at 221 B Baker Street. All right, so that probably felt different than if I were to get really tense. I live at 221 Baker Street, right? Really, really tense. But if I chose to add an easy bounce in there, I kept it really light and moving forward. All right, you can try this with your address. All right, the next strategy is this cancellation, and that's where you notice the moment of stuttering, you pause, you let go of tension, and you start again. And the strategy is, the prompt is, what's your phone number? Okay, so I'm going to use this cancellation as I get stuck on my phone number. My number is 8675309. Okay, so that time I canceled it out and I started over again, which was probably a good idea because phone numbers have really important digits in there, so I wanted to be really clear going into it. All right, now you can try this strategy with your phone number or the phone number of somebody in your family. All right, and the last strategy that we're going to use is the pull-out strategy. And remember, this is where in a moment of stuttering, you release the tension and you slide out through the rest of the word. And for the prompt, we have, what grade are you in? So I'm going to make this up. I'm going to plan to add a stutter voluntarily on 10th grade. So what grade are you in? I'm in 10th grade. Okay, so you noticed I had a few repetitions in there, but I just kept my air flowing and I released my tension out through the rest of the word. So that's the pull-out strategy. Now we've reviewed all of these different ways to respond to stuttering. I want to see if you can remember any of the names of the strategies. So the first one is where you ease into the word with slow and stretchy speech, with those light contacts. Remember what this one's called? It's called a preparatory set. Yeah. It's kind of a way to prepare for easy, flowy speech when you start to feel some tension. This next strategy is where you bounce into a word gently rather than getting stuck or tensely repeating sounds. I'll give you a clue. This is the easy bounce. I like to call it the easy bounce because the strategy is in the name. All right, this next strategy is where you notice the moment of you notice the moment of stuttering, you pause, you release the tension, and then you start again. So this is cancellation. Oops. And what's unique about this one is you really do cancel out the word by starting it again. This last one is in the moment of stuttering, you release tension and slide out through the word. This is called the pull out. And you pull out of your stutter and into the rest of the word there. Okay, so those are the strategies that we reviewed today. We practiced them with different prompts, but I'm going to give you a chance to pause the screen, and now you can practice different strategies with different prompts here. So you can mix and match and try it on your own. And I think, yeah, that's just about everything. Really nice work. I want you to ask yourself, how did that go? Which strategies felt really natural and easy? Which ones felt more challenging? And how can you continue to use these strategies in your speech? So I'm always here if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.